Hello everyone. So I'm a little bit further than I was last time. I'm actually on my way to Madrid right now. I've stopped on the halfway point in a very tiny little village that's perched right on the edge of like a gorge of a river. That's where I parked last night, just outside of the town. And the town is just here perched in the bend of the river. So I'm not sure if you can see it on the camera, but there's water down below. And there's a really pretty hiking trail that follows this way down and then up along the ridge. You can see the fencing there, and it goes all the way around the river bend of the town. So yeah, just traveling light, seeing the sights and have some fun here at the moment. This trail is supposed to be about 2.5 hours long, I believe. We'll see how long I take, especially chatting to the camera and all that. There's a lot of herbal plants around here. So you can see some rosemary. It's very nice bright green, this one. Back in Casablanca, the rosemary was blooming, so you get these beautiful purple flowers. And down here we have thyme, and there's still the morning dew, like it's all wet still, so the fragrance is just amazing. Church bell going off. Yeah, there's also juniper. Yeah, juniper, thyme, rosemary. See what else I can find. When you come here, you wonder why anyone in Spain would buy rosemary from the store. All of this rosemary. But yeah, as I'm going along with this channel of mine, with the vlogging, I don't actually know what I'm gonna do with it yet. Like, I don't really have a concrete plan in mind for what I want to talk about, what I want to show. But I mean, main point is just that I'm sharing what's on my mind. So like, instead of it being a diary, you know, it's recording yourself talking. And I think it's also for me a way to build confidence, because I've never really, I mean, who does, right? Nobody likes to hear their own voice. Nobody likes to see themselves filmed. But I don't really care. I'm just going to go for it anyway. Talking out loud helps to kind of make things more honest and more real. Because when you're writing, you kind of monitor what you say. You edit yourself as you go. And also when you write something down, at least that's what I find when I keep up a journal or whatever, I never read it back. I never look at it again. But I think with added film, you know, filming, it adds another dimension to it. I do hope that I find some kind of groove with this, some kind of way to talk about things that are on my mind. Things that keep me occupied. Though I have to say, in the last couple of weeks, because I've moved on from the Netherlands back down south, it's kind of the start of my overwintering season in Spain. And I've had a really busy summer, doing lots and lots of things with people and lots of things happening. My brother got married, and I went to the UK, visited friends. Just done so many things, and now I've kind of calmed down from that period. So it's kind of this really restful state where I'm, you know, kind of reconsidering, like kind of settling back into this life. So I take time in between. Like when I started out this life, it was very tempting to want to see and do everything, but that just doesn't work. You get overstimulated, at least my brain, very easily overstimulated. And yeah, you don't tend to enjoy it as much. Yeah, you need to appreciate things, you need to take them slow. And one at a time. And if you try to do everything at once, it all starts to look the same anyway. This is pretty typical shrubland. It's like the higher plateaus, very rocky, very dense. There's a tractor in the field here spraying. Not sure if it's water or anything else, but I do feel a slight headache coming on. even before I'm poisoned by some kind of insecticide. So while I was in Casablanca, they have a nice little boulevard along there, and I like to go skating or skateboarding when I'm there. And I haven't actually done it in quite a while, because I tend to be in areas like these where the ground is rocky and not very smooth. And even when you're in towns, you know, the streets can be quite treacherous with cars, quite narrow, and the pavement can be quite have little cracks in it. And I'm not the most confident skater that I can just jump over any obstacle. So you know, down by the beachside towns, we have the promenade. It's very nice and easy to just cruise along. And yeah, I haven't skated in quite a while. Like I kind of felt like you know, got a bit rusty here and there. So I picked up my skateboard again. The last couple of 3 or 4 days, I've just been cruising up and down the boulevard of Casablanca, and it's been really fun getting back into it. I'm actually learning to tack, so I'll put a bit of footage in here that I took while I was there. So tacking is just basically shifting the board left to right, using your balance rather than just leaning. So if you lean on, especially on a cruiser, which I have, the cruisers, the skateboards with really nice thick wheels that are very soft and spongy. So if you lean on them, you can kind of, you know, cruise along quite smoothly. But you can't make any sharp corners. So I've learned to tack, which is just basically where you shift your weight on the back of the board to kind of shift around the nose. And I've been practicing to try and do, if I can do 180, so go from one side, you know, turn it completely around to face the other side in one smooth motion. And doing that while not falling over takes a lot more practice. It's funny because I was never a sporty girl growing up. I never thought that I liked sports. So it was only once that I moved back from the UK. I picked up mountain biking and just trying to see what I'd enjoy. I always knew I loved hiking and walking, but I wanted something more. But I was already in my late 20s by that point, and now I'm in my almost mid-30s. And skating, you know, like picking up these kind of new things, it does get harder as you get older. So part of me is always curious, like, what if I picked up these things when I was younger, you know? But then everything's a balance in life, you know. The time that I didn't spend skating, I spent drawing, or I spent sharpening any other skills that I might have, building knowledge, whatever, you know. That's the one thing about me, I'm a freaking nerd, you know. You'll always find me watching YouTube or reading Wikipedia, learn new things. It's all useless knowledge, but, you know, knowledge nonetheless. But these days I enjoy, you know, like a little balance between the physical and the mental. And mental I am. Otherwise I wouldn't want to live in a van if I wasn't absolutely mental. On this walk today, I've decided to take with me some gear that a friend of mine made. So instead of like carrying a backpack with me, I just have this belt on. And yeah, I managed to put everything on it. So this is for the DJI camera, so I can clip that on there. I've got my spare battery in there. It's for my phone. And on my butt you can see there's my water bottle. So it's all very nice and compact, so I don't even have to take a backpack at the moment. Just thought I'd try it out, you know. I can't quite decide if I look cool or if I just look fucking try hard, but you know. I think I look cool, which is all that matters in the end, right? So I haven't encountered my my Dutch neighbours yet, because they are walking the same trail as I am. It's a couple of Dutch pensioners that I met this morning at my parking space. And obviously when you travel around Europe, people recognize each other by the number plates, like, oh, you're Dutch, so people always come for a little chat. It's not very often that I make, you know, friendships on the road. It's actually quite rare. Like I have a lot of these kind of one-day friendships or connections with people that I just, you know, you get to know each other, you hear each other's stories, and then you move on. It's quite rare that I actually, you know, retain contact with somebody. There's a few people that have come and gone in my life. A few people I wish I was still in contact with, but you know, didn't turn out. And I think the reverse is also true. I've had messages from people who want to stay in touch with me, But I'm just kind of like, I don't really have the time or space in my life to keep in touch with everyone. And there's only a finite amount of time you have to spend, talking to people. And I'm guessing with some people you could just shoot an occasional message every once in a while, and that's sufficient. And with other people you want to, a couple of times a week. Other people every day. So it's a balance. And then there's also the time you want to spend on your own. And I require a lot of time on my own. That's something I've known since childhood. But as I've grown older, I've definitely become more social. So it's been very fun. Even in this lifestyle, you're on your own a lot, but you'd be surprised how challenging it is to get to know people and be social. Actually more so than you would be at home. Because at home you'd have your house and your job. Your colleagues maybe, you have your local friends. But how many times do you actually chat with a stranger? While you live in a town or a city. It doesn't, like if you have your routine, your usual life, like how many times does the opportunity to come up to meet somebody new, unless you actively seek it out. And while I was skating in Casablanca, I tried strapping my camera to my chest, or to my bag even, to see if I could film from, with a wide angle, first person perspective skating. And it just ended up looking really silly. I'll insert some footage here so you can see. It almost looks like, a Minecraft character walking with their arms straight out like I'm running. It's just so funny. It looks so dorky. It's like, what the hell am I even doing? These cameras really distort everything, but it's just so funny seeing that the way you move and the way you talk and the way you act, like your facial expressions, you're not aware of them until you start filming them. A couple of years ago when I first came to Spain, it was a really hot spring, and I was in this area as well, slightly north from here, near a reservoir. I think it was called the Toba Reservoir, and the water there was like this really kind of bluish, chalkish colour. The colour, like the chalk in it, probably made the water opaque, so it was kind of scary. I found it kind of, I don't have a fear of water per se, but getting into water that you can't see through can be a little bit frightening. So once I got over my initial jitters, I had a fantastic time. And the only people there were locals. Like I didn't see anyone, like fellow campers or anything, because it was actually right across this narrow, this mountain road, which I could definitely navigate with my camper, but it was tricky. There was one time that I tried to cross this mountain pass. It was called the San Boldo Pass, I believe, if I remember correctly. And this pass was really cool. It was constructed during the Second World War as a way to transport troops quickly across the Alps. And it was constructed in a matter of days. So they have these photos up near the pass showing how with dynamite they blew holes through the mountainside to kind of make this really winding S-bend path up the pass. And the tunnels that they created are 3 meters high, which is like 9 to 10 feet, and that's just tall enough for like a regular van. So as you come up to the pass, you drive up to it. There's loads of warning signs saying like, be cautious. This is a height limit, and they have the barriers up, which aren't just the swingy barriers, but they're a hard barrier. So you will knock it if you try to pass under it with too tall a vehicle. Now I could pass under just fine because my vehicle is 2.6 meters tall. So left about 40 centimeters of space. So whatever, fine, right? Like you think that these things are always made with some kind of, some extra space. Like they keep that in mind. But let me tell you, those tunnels were sketchy. So it goes straight up, and there's many different S-bends. You wait in front of these stoplights that make sure that the traffic is only flowing one way, because these tunnels are narrow. And with my van, I had to drive right down the middle, not to hit the sides of the tunnel. So yeah, that was pretty scary. When I actually it's a good thing I didn't know what I was getting into, because I would have shat myself. And as I was in it, I just had to focus on driving, you know, there was no going back. So very cautiously made my way up the pass, and yeah, that was definitely one of the scariest things I've ever driven. Imagine breaking down in one of those tunnels, you're just fucked. Not a sound. The only thing ruining the piece here is me. Just coming back to the village now, and you can see the river beautifully now. How many millions of years did that take, eh? Grind its way down into the valley. I mean, it took a lot longer than it took for that to break down. Made it up to one of the little castles on the hill. It's right next to the river. It's about an hour further now, because I actually met those Dutch neighbours of mine. So I've just been chatting with them. This castle, I read on the nearby sign, was built in the 14th century. And has walls that are 1.5 meters thick. That's pretty incredible. I didn't die! Down to the bridge that leads back up to the village. That's where I was parked this morning. And there's a dam down here. I wonder if it's still in operation, because you see that building over there seems like derelict or something. There's a big hole in the roof, lots of birds nesting. You can kind of see into the building. It's like old tiling up on the side there. It's probably one of the smallest dams I've seen so far. Ah, look at the power. I've come to the end of my hike and I'm back into the village. You just see the trail down there that I followed. This little tower I climbed. But yeah. I hope you enjoyed joining me today. The next stop for me is going to be Madrid, so hopefully you're going to be able to do some filming there. I've never actually properly visited Madrid before. I've definitely been on the way past, but it's going to be interesting seeing it for real. So, see you in the next one.